What's something weird / funny / embarrassing you've done on autopilot? Just today I went to the grocery store, packed everything into my backpack at self-checkout and went home. As soon as I got home I remembered I never actually paid. Edit. To all those asking if I went back and paid, I did. As soon as I noticed, I went back, swiped my card in the self-checkout and got it over with. Nobody had even noticed. The store is about 300 meters from my apartment. Complex. For clarification as to how I got away with it, the self-checkout works by swiping your personal discount card, then grabbing a scanner that lights up. You scan all your items before putting them into your cart/basket. When you're done, you put the scanner back, then go to one of the self-checkout registers, swipe your discount card again to create a bill to pay, then pay it using your debit card. I did everything except swipe my card and pay, since I usually do all this before packing everything. Yesterday I was worried if they'd fit, so I wanted to find out first. Put them all into my backpack, and then went my merry way without a second thought. I was feeling an encroaching sickness coming upon me one time, so I decided to be proactive and make myself a couple of days worth of the most baller chicken soup I could manage in advance, so I'd be able to eat well even when I was dying of the lurgy. I chopped the carrots, I sorted the onions, I stewed the chicken bones, and I cooked that motherfucker down for 8 hours into the most delicious stock you could imagine. Then I poured it all through a colander into the sink. I was tired at the time, but sat down on the toilet thinking that the seat was up and just pissed all over the seat, floor and myself. Not a great thing to do, or clean up at 3 AM. I've worked as a caregiver for adults with mental and physical disabilities for more than a decade now. I'm a caregiver. I do basic cares, which include helping many adult men do their daily activities. Things like shaving, buttoning shirts, making sure belts are on correctly, so on and so forth. Once on a date, I was a bit buzzed. I fixed my date's shirt and told him he needed to look in the mirror and see if he wanted a shave. On the railroad, you can get verbal permission to pass a red signal or flag, either from the dispatcher or the employee who placed the red flag. You cannot under any circumstances pass a blue light or flag, because that protects employees working on between rolling stock beyond the blue signal. Driving home in the car late one night, I decided to take a shortcut through the local university. I go around a corner and see a blue light marking a police call station. Immediate conclusion: shit, can't go that way. I was getting my car out of the parking lot, heading back home after a long day. Shortly after I started driving, I passed by a car that is identical to mine and thought, cool. I found the car. I got out of the car to go to the other car. Halfway through I noticed that WTF I'm doing, looked around hoping to God that no one saw me, and then went back on my merry way. Wasn't a proud moment, lol. I was sitting in math class one day, and I was just humming to myself while the teacher explained something at the board. She went to turn off the projector, which is next to my desk. Then, still standing next to me, she gives me this weird look and asks, "Is something wrong?" I had been so deep in thought that I had lost the tune but kept humming. So I was now just humming along low without any change in pitch. So yeah, that was embarrassing. Sometimes in the shower I fill my mouth up with water and just kind of let it pour out. Was brushing my teeth standing in the bathroom one day, fully dressed before work. I just let the toothpaste pour slowly out of my mouth and onto my clothes as if I were in the shower. Now every time I brush my teeth my boyfriend warns me not to spit all over myself. Went to the doctor's office, took off my jumper for a flu shot, realized my t-shirt was on inside out, got home. Took off my t-shirt, realized my bra was inside out, sigh. Went to the bedroom, took off my bra, realized my boobs were inside out. Making cookies, I cracked an egg and dumped the contents into the garbage. Thankfully caught myself before putting the shell into the cookies. Oof. Once I meant to throw a towel in the hamper then spit a into the toilet, but it ended up happening the other way around. Was taking my belt off at the TSA and then pulled down my pants, got to my ankles and was like, nope, back up. This concludes my brief mooning. Thank you all for your attention. Started to trim my beard and didn't see the guard was off. Huge swath of beard gone in one swipe. The kids still refer to me during the beardless months as creepy daddy and I'm not allowed to shave it off again. My hand slipped and did that before. The wife had never seen me without a beard. I'm also not allowed to shave my beard. I was looking all over for my keys and finally thought that I might have left them in the car. I went outside and my car was locked. So I pulled my keys out of my pocket, unlocked the door, opened the door and realized how much of an idiot I am. The battery on my car remote went dead and I was late for work. I frantically pressed the unlock button to get it to work. No dice. I was like shit. Fuck. How do I get to work? Should I work from home? I rather not though. Damn it. What to do? Then I realized I could use the key. You know, that jagged metal thing you jab in keyholes. The key isn't even hidden in the remote. Washed an apple at the sink. Dried it with a paper towel. Turned and tossed the apple in the trash and stood there holding the towel like an idiot. I have thrown away ceramic plates more times than I care to admit. Who off? I can hear my mother getting pissed off at this comment. Undressing to shower, I threw my underwear into the toilet instead of the laundry and flushed it. When I was 6 or 7 years old, I was getting ready for a bath. My parents had already filled the tub and all I had to do was take off my clothes and put them in the basket of dirty laundry. Took everything off and threw it all in the tub. Stood there and stared for a solid 30 seconds. That solid 30 seconds is actually also a soiled 30 seconds. I once woke up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom and casually just got in the shower. It took me about 5 minutes before I realized what just happened. I kissed my wife's best friend. It was totally innocent and something we laughed about. I had to take a bus to work every day at about 4 AM. My wife usually drove me to the stop so that I didn't have to leave my car there for 14 hours. My wife's friend was staying with us while she looked for a job and house in the area. She was getting up early anyway so she decided she would take me and let my wife sleep. When we got to the stop, I just instinctively leaned over and kissed her goodbye. She had a dumbfounded look on her face, and mine instantly turned red as I realized what I'd done. I just said sorry, it was a habit. My wife poked fun at me for days for putting the moves on her friend. I used to work on a farm and we always took our boots off before entering the homestead for meal breaks. One afternoon I absent-mindedly unbuttoned my jeans and started to take them off instead of my boots. I guess my brain decided I was done for the day. Was anyone around to see? Yeah, everyone else working there going on tea break. Tea breaks on the farm sound fantastic. They sound British AF. Have a good day sir. Love you too. Awkward shuffle out of Panera. I'm an ex-bus driver and many times on my way home from work, I would go to pull into a bus stop in my car. That's awesome. Do you ever start driving your route by accident? Yes, I have done that too. The pipe underneath my sink was broken, so I put a bucket below it to catch the water leaking out. When it was full I poured it back in the sink and proceeded to flood my kitchen. Similarly, I have made chicken stock, got out the strainer, poured my stock through it and down the sink, leaving myself with a nice pile of depleted bones and a new lower estimation of my intelligence. I was working the back line at an Arby's way back in the day. We used to get our sub buns foot long, but all the subs we sold were 6 inch. I literally reached into the bag, grabbed a sub roll, cut it in half, and then put the knife back in the bag and tried to cut another sandwich with the sub bun. My manager saw it and died. I laughed so hard at this, thank you. I can't stop laughing at the image of vacant confusion on someone's face as they try and work out why the sandwich isn't working. I tried putting the milk bottle back in the microwave then got mad when it didn't fit. I only stopped trying cause my brother was there watching and he started laughing. Got in my car to buy groceries and drove for 45 minutes to work. PS. But the actually embarrassing one is when you are a home care nurse and you walk into one of your patients' home at 9 PM expecting them to have milk and bread in stock. This is my biggest one. My wife has to remind me constantly I'm not going to work when I drive on the weekends. Always running to catch the subway after waiting at the crosswalk in front of the station. Casually walking with my friend in the same area yesterday. Started running when the cross sign lit up. He was like WTF. I drove home from Phoenix to Prescott, forgetting the fact that I had moved to Flagstaff about a month prior. Got all the way to my old driveway before realizing my error. Both Prescott and Flagstaff are north of Phoenix, but are about 1.75 hours apart from each other. I had recently been attending a lot of martial arts classes at night. One morning at work I accidentally bowed at my boss when I entered his office. This was in the US. Neither of us are of Asian descent. And yes, he noticed. It was awkward. Stopped at a stop sign and waited at least a minute and a half for it to turn green. Autopilot equals hi. You have been visited by the smart studying doggo. You'll be blessed with good grades only if you subscribe to comment awards and like the video. PG! On top, food chain, won't stop, new game, hot box that blue haze, one lock, 2 chains, no bras, 2 babes, mic drop, new stage, lights in my rear view, 5 cops, food race, faster than a Tesla, they say I'm exhausted.